You wouldn't know that we're on the cusp of a major holiday based off of what silver's price did today, but there's a reason for it, and it's a good one. I'll explain silver's price explosion in this video as we explore. And an explosion it was, reaching almost 4% increase today, and topping out at $53.44. Right now, it is over 3.5% up, with $53.34 for silver, far outperforming gold, which is only up 0.78%, up $32.30. The only other metal that comes close is platinum, which is up $37. So it's been a wild day indeed. And I tell you, I want to thank channel sponsor Summit Metals for being such a great company and great people to work with, to experience their great customer service for yourself, to elevate your wealth. Check out Summit Metals by clicking on the link in the description down below. I'm also going to show you some silver that I got today at my local coin shop for under spot price. That's right. I'll explain that as well when we get there, and I'm going to be doing something else that's revolutionary later in the video that I've done before. So wait for that too. Oh yeah, it's going to be fun. Gold and silver prices are higher today as traders digested another busy day of U.S. economic data releases. And U.S. trading action is likely to taper off as traders hit the exit doors, ready to get a jump on the U.S. Thanksgiving holiday. U.S. markets are closed on Thursday, and that's why I think we could probably be witnessing another record for silver trading above $50 an ounce. And last week I did a poll on my live stream the previous week asking you if we thought we would see $54 silver by the previous Friday. We didn't get there, but it's quite possible we may see it by this Friday. So not counting tomorrow's day being closed, we very well could be at the cusp of another record high above $50 an ounce for more than 9 trading days. I think we'll have to wait for Monday for that to see if it holds. But nonetheless, these economic data, we talked about it yesterday, and they're just rolling in, bolstering the silver price. It's been an amazing ride. Initial U.S. jobless claims in the U.S. fell by 6,000 from the previous week to 216,000 on the previous ending, November the 22nd, a third consecutive drop to tie the lowest level since February, and below market expectations of an increase of 225,000. The Chicago Business Barometer fell to 36.3 in November 2025 from 43.8 in the prior month, and against market estimates of 44.3. This was a 24th consecutive month with readings below the neutral 50 threshold, signaling a solid contraction in Chicago's economic activity and the sharpest since May of 2024. The sub-indexes of new orders, production, and employment all declined. Meanwhile, supplier deliveries went up. New orders for U.S. manufacturing durable goods rose 0.5% month over month in September 2025, following an upward revision 3% increase in August and exceeding market expectations of 0.3%. This is good for economic activity, and which means likely more demand for silver, which is why silver is outperforming gold today. At least that's how I interpret it. There may be other factors that are involved as well as we navigate this, but this has narrowed the gold to silver ratio to below 80. It is now at 78.2. It's been hovering around 80 for a while, and we could see a revisiting of that gold to silver ratio. And I still don't think that means that silver is going anywhere, and it's not going to continue to perform well, by the way. But these data being released, I think, has really boosted up silver in such a way, far outperforming an explosion right before this Thanksgiving holiday, which I want to wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving, by the way. But I hope you will stay tuned for the video that I'm going to be posting tomorrow on Thanksgiving. It's a very interesting video. I hope you will stay tuned for that. And if you're away with your families, maybe you'll catch it when you get back. But nonetheless, there's a lot to be thankful for sure. And I'll give you a little history lesson in that video. Now, none of Tuesday's or today's U.S. data significantly moved the needle on marketplace thinking on Federal Reserve policy. Traders and investors were once again betting that the Fed will cut U.S. interest rates again when policymakers meet on December 9th and 10th, with markets pricing in, signaling over 80% certainty of a quarter-point rate hike or cut. They say hike here, but it's actually cut. In fact, that is exactly at 84.9%, right around 85%, whereas yesterday it topped out at 85.2%. So the shift in rate sentiment started after last week's delayed September jobs data and was reinforced by comments from New York Fed President John Williams and San Francisco Fed President Mary Daly. Fed Chair Jerome Powell and his allies are on board with a cut, despite pushback from other officials who are more concerned about inflation, and recent soft economic data is expected to convince the rest of the committee, according to Bloomberg's reporting. White House National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett is seen as the front-runner to be the next Federal Reserve chair, according to people familiar with the matter, and as reported by Bloomberg. Hassett is seen as someone who would bring Donald Trump's approach to interest rate cutting to the Fed, which Trump has long wanted to control. Trump is known to make surprise personnel and policy decisions, and a nomination is not final until it's made public, according to people familiar with the matter. Indeed, that is true. It's also bullish for the precious metals market. But you think about it, there's not much room for them to cut when you think about it, because where are we at now? We're sitting at 375 to 400. I guess you could do a few more cuts. They were talking about they'd like to see a full point cut, so we may only get a few more. We'll see what happens in the course of that time. And the dollar index is also something we watch, and as well as the oil. Although there's not as much tied to oil, it seems like these days, in terms of affecting precious metal prices. Oil is sitting right at up a little bit, up 65 cents to $58.60 per barrel. The dollar index is down 0.27 to 99.59, below that crucial 100 mark. So that's what we're seeing there with oil, and an amazing ride for silver today. It's been something else to see. I'm just amazed. We're sitting here well above $53 an ounce, a 3.5% increase today. That's a massive move. But the thing is with the shutdown happening and economic data trying to play catch up, that's what we're witnessing here. That's what we're looking at, and it's been quite a sight to see. Look at the reflection of the Scottsdale lion on the silver, on these Mexican Libertads. Isn't that cool? Yes, indeed. That's pretty wild. It's a pretty amazing. Silver is in a wild metal in terms of how it reflects, not only reflects on all of us, but on the metal itself, on each other pieces of silver. Here's some silver that doesn't reflect as much that I got for under spot price. You can probably guess what it is, because we're still in a situation where refineries are overloaded. So constitutional silver can still be had for under spot, and I got just that. These I got for $20 for these three coins. That's 60 cents face value of silver, with 2 Standing Liberty quarters and 1 Winged Liberty dime. Yes, indeed. So there you have it. Adding a little bit to the stack. Yes, indeed, that's the way to do it. When you can, especially if you're on a budget, you can get silver for under spot price. Nice to be able to do that. Now, in terms of silver, what we have to understand is that we still are living in a world where there's a lot of prices. Prices are up. And, I like to be as intellectually honest as possible. And, there's some areas in the economy and shopping and some groceries, some fixings for Thanksgiving that may be a little bit lower in price, but honestly, not a whole lot. We are still living in an age of inflation. It's at 3%, folks. And, there's as much as the administration would like to spin it, we are still suffering from it. I like to be intellectually honest on this channel, and that is what's going on. I see it as well out and about and shopping and paying attention. And but hopefully we'll get there someday. Hopefully we'll get back down in line. But with cutting interest rates and with the Federal Reserve doing its thing, in a sense, we're kind of in a quantitative easing situation here. But the dollar indeed is, though it's strong compared to other currencies out there, it is weaker in terms of what it can buy these days. And that's another punishment it's a hidden tax. It's inflation. And even at the Fed's target of 2%, that's way too much in my view. And so how do we protect ourselves from that? We buy and hold silver. And that gets me to the second thing I'm going to show you that's revolutionary. I believe in stacking silver strongly. I believe in being versatile from within your silver stack, as you can see from the display in front of you and what I just bought at my local coin shop. You know, there's different types of silver to buy. Not all silver is created equal, including this piece of silver here that I'm going to show you that you can get over at Summit Metals. It is a salivate metal channel round here. You can get that over at Summit Metals. This is pretty expensive. Indeed it is, and that's because they had to get these in a smaller quantity, so it costs more. But nonetheless, if you want one of these, they're available there over at Summit Metals. There's less than 50 of them left. Once they are gone, it may take a while to get more in, and likely the others that are in are going to be very small quantities. There's just not as much demand for these. So probably when this is done, this may be it. But if you want one of these, there it is. But it is a higher premium. But nonetheless, there's that. Now, there's the other silver. The most popular silver bullion coin is the American Eagle. Yes, indeed. A great coin to have. But no matter what kind of silver you have, hold it tight in your hand, folks. That's holding silver with a diamond fist. That's right. We take that phrase, diamond hands, to the next level and have coined that phrase, pun intended, to diamond fist. Hold on to a core stack. You know, there may be some silver that you have that you can sell if you want to play the market, so to speak, or if you want to use it as an opportunity in order to better yourself or your families. That's a great thing, but I think we all should have a core stack that we hold on to for dear life. That is what it means to have a diamond fist when you hold your silver. So there you have it. I want to encourage you in that way and wish you very, very happy, safe traveling during this season. Thanksgiving. Stay tuned for the video I'm going to be posting tomorrow on that. With that being said, I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.